The student loan scam is but one example of how the government can be misused and why government programs aren't the solution to social problems. This student loan program intentionally violates contract law. The people who wrote it and signed it into law know it. But it also violates the Constitution, and they know this as well. The U.S. government is illegally acting like a private collection agency for the elite and is violating the 4th, 5th, and 7th Amendments in the process. Through an action called Treasury Offset, the student loan program violates the 4th Amendment that secures our effects against unreasonable seizures without warrant. It violates the 5th Amendment guarantee of due process, and it violates the 7th Amendment concerning common law disputes over $20. When applied to student loans prior to a certain date, Treasury Offset also violates constitutional protections against ex post facto. This simply protects us from the passing of retroactive laws. As applied to any student loan prior to about 2007, Treasury Offset violates ex post facto. They started offset with me 10 years after the fact. If this law wasn't passed retroactively, then why didn't they apply it sooner? After quitting this criminal organization disguised as a college, I immediately wrote a letter to the student loan program explaining everything and telling them the school violated their contract and it owed the loan money, not me. Over the next 3 years, I wrote them 2 more letters, and they claim they never received any of them. In the letters, I explained how the school, the bank, and the student loan program all violated their student loan contracts. The bank violated its contract by misrepresenting my chances of getting my grant. The school violated its parking contract, its contract to provide me with accredited courses, and through an act of attempted extortion, threatened to withhold my grades. Lastly, the Department of Education violated its own mission statement. A mission statement is a statement of intent and affirms the primary purpose of the program and is itself a contract. When any part of the program acts contrary to the mission statement, fraud has been committed, and the contrary part of the program becomes null and void. The mission statement reads, "Our mission is to promote student achievement in preparation for global competitiveness by fostering educational excellence and ensuring equal access." The student loan program failed to meet these goals with me. A mission statement is a statement of intent, making it a contract. Any act or result that's contrary to this statement doesn't apply and is unenforceable by contract. It violates good faith applications of contract law and exposes a contradiction. The mission statement overrides any contradictions. Also remember, contract law has nothing to do with your signature or anything that you sign. The promissory note I was forced to sign makes the student the only party to risk anything. Everyone else in the student loan scam is guaranteed benefits and profits. The banks, the loan companies, and the colleges are all guaranteed profits and benefit, but not the student, not the consumer. Following my first letter to the student loan program, the credit collection harassment began almost instantly. I refused to pay anything because the school owed the money, not me. Over 10 years later, a law was passed to apply this thing called Treasury offset to past defaulted student loans, violating ex post facto protections, violating Article 1, Section 9 of the Constitution. Treasury offset was originally intended only as a means for the IRS to collect back taxes. It allows the government to keep monies owed the taxpayer to pay money owed to the IRS. But now the elite decided to apply it to student loan collection and enforces it retroactively. I was told nothing about Treasury offset at the time I was conned into signing the promissory note, and the note never mentioned anything about me risking my Social Security. I would never risk my only means of survival. So, on a $3,500 loan, I've had more than $8,000 stolen from my Social Security to pay for a loan I didn't qualify for, didn't want, didn't ask for, was told I wouldn't get, and that I received no benefit from at all. I mean, I wasn't even allowed to finish the semester, and these payments just keep going and going. I believe they'll never end. The student loan scam has done nothing but do me harm. This violates the mutual benefit requirement of contract law. I notified Presidents Bush and Obama, about 20 individual congresspeople, the Congressional Secondary Education Committee, and about 10 mainstream news media outlets. No one gave a damn. They all knew this student loan program was a scam, and they had no intentions of exposing it or stopping it. The student loan program was never intended for the betterment of the common. It was intended to lure them into debt that they otherwise would have never gotten involved in. It's the old bait and switch. This harms conservatives and liberals alike. This is but one example of how the government is misused and why government programs aren't the solution to social problems. In the next video in this series, titled Equalism 108, I'll explain better options to provide citizens with the education needed to compete in today's society. Please share this video series with as many equalists, with as many non-predators as you possibly can. Thanks.